Right. So today is the first session. We are trying to do some demo of data science. The way we will run this course is that we will spend a good 2 months of time to understand about the basics of AI, from the basics of AI to very advanced topics of AI like generative AI, agentic AI, and things like that. So we will start the course from understanding what are the different components of AI, and then we will get into Python for data science, and slowly we will navigate to different levels of AI. So first things first, let me quickly share my screen. We are going to cover a very simple application. I want to keep it very practical, so that's the reason I'm just covering a very simple application. Let me just connect to it. Give me a minute. Already connected. Let me share my screen. So I hope you're able to see my screen. You should see creator.voiceflow.com, something like that. And then you see a doctor designer window. So once I click on it, it opens up into a designer window. And you see that there is a workflow. So it's a basic workflow of a chat application. What we're going to do is quickly run this chat application and then test it and then see what is it doing. We will spend some good amount of time to understand what is it doing, but just let us go through this and then we will see what is it doing. So it says, welcome to Tata Hospitals. I'll help you to schedule a meeting with Dr. Sai Kumar. And it has a message. Then it says, what day would you like to book your appointment? I say that I am having a bad headache and I would like to book an appointment as soon as possible. All right. So I'm just saying that I am having a bad headache and I would like to book an appointment as soon as possible. Then it does something. We will come back to this. What is it doing? We see that there is a model being invoked, GPT 3.5 turbo model being invoked, and there's some messages which are floating around. But it comes back with a message saying that we have availability on May 19th, 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4:30 p.m. Does that times work for you? I am okay. I would like to get the first possible appointment. So as you see, I have not given the time. It is looking for some time. It is basically what it wants is it has to capture some time. That from that intent, it has to capture a time. I did not give the time, but I'm saying that I'm okay. I would like to get the first possible appointment. Let us see what is it responding. So when I said that, it is again coming back with some response. Okay, so it got the best possible time. So it already picked up 9 a.m. as the best possible time. Can I get your name and email address? Then I say, my name is Sitaram, and my email address is sitaram@abc.com. Okay, I just give some details. Say Sitaram and email address is so and so. Thank you, Sitaram. Could you provide your last name for completing the booking? My last name is all right. So I say my last name is Thadepalli, and it completes the booking. So it says that awesome, your meeting booking is completed, and I have sent you confirmation on so and so email. Perfect, perfect. So let us do the postmortem of what has happened. Okay. So if I go to the top, first thing, this is the bot. I will scroll to the right. So what we have created is we have created a chat bot using generative AI, which can book appointments. It is an agentic AI chatbot. So before me trying to talk about this is AI, this is agentic AI, this is generative AI, and taking a lot of time, what I really wish to do is we have to get into the hands-on. We should have our hands dirty and get the hands-on, get the work done as quickly as possible. That's what we have done. Within 10 minutes, what we have done just now is we have created a chatbot, end-to-end chatbot, and we are understanding the structure of the chatbot, how it will work, and what it will do. So first things first, it is for some hospital. We have created for a dummy Tata hospital and for a Dr. Sai Kumar. This is the name of the doctor, and I'm giving some information. This is the chat occurrence. So it is looking at this chat utterance. It collects this information, and then it summarizes the available times and provides me the available times, and then ask a question that do any of those times work for you, right? So that's what it is doing. It is giving me the available times. Now what this will do is it will connect to the real Calendarly app or real Google Calendar app, and what it will do is it will get the actual information, and it will get your code. Just a second, the organizer is calling. All right. So what I was talking is, so it has provided the actual details. It has provided the available timelines. Just imagine that this particular node, or you can think like this section, connects to a real calendar, right? Imagine it connects to my real calendar or calendar of a doctor, and then the calendar has the available slots, available times. Then it can directly invoke the calendar and get the available times and can provide it to us, right? Here it is coming up with some dummy times, but it can actually invoke and then get the information from the actual calendar app, right? So imagine it has provided the details. Then I say that I would like to get the first possible appointment. The first possible appointment is 9 a.m. And that's the reason it understood the first possible appointment. If you look at the rationale, it says the user expressed urgency in booking an appointment and requested the earliest available time. The initial options were 9 a.m., 1 a.m., 4 p.m. User confirmed that they would like to get the first available slot, which is 9 a.m. That's the reason it has internally picked up the selected time as 9 a.m. Okay, it has picked up the time. Then it is also doing these calls to GPT 3.5 Turbo. GPT 3.5 Turbo is one of the ChatGPT's model. So underlying, it is doing that calling, getting the message, condensing the message, giving the message back to the user and all that stuff. So that's what is happening. And we are also seeing that we are getting this great information. Now coming to the chat based thing, it comes back and saying that great, can I get your name and email address for booking? So I provided my name and some dummy email address. Then it does the calls, and then finally, okay, it is also asking my last name. So I provided my last name, and then finally it books the appointment. So within 10 minutes, what we have seen is we have created a very simple functional app. Now, after this, probably we can have an agent which can send emails as well, right? It can connect to the Google SMTP server, and it can send emails to the people who have booked the appointment. It can create a template, and the template will have like, hello Sitaram, your appointment with Dr. Sai Kumar is confirmed at 9 a.m. today and so time. Please come 5 minutes or 10 minutes early so that you will not be having any wastage or something like that. So you can frame that email, and then you can draft the email, and then that email can be sent. Right. See, what we have seen right now is within no time we are able to create this application, and this application will help us to basically interact with AI's capabilities. Now, what we are trying to understand here is the art of possibility of what AI can do. There are a lot of questions which people come up with saying that I am just a fresher, or I have a QA background, or I have a programming background, but I have never done anything in the recent times with respect to AI. Or some people ask saying that I have like 10, 15 years of experience. Now I am doing more of a project management role. I'm a product owner and things like that. But now I would like to get into AI. So there are a lot of these questions which people come up, and what we are seeing here is the pace at which the things are changing are at a quite a rapid pace, and each and every area is getting touched with AI. The ability for us to understand, contemplate the way it can be used within our business is quite essential, and that's the reason you guys are spending this time, and I would like to make the best use of this time so that you get the best understanding of this AI and so on, right? So we'll just give a few minutes to just check the pulse. Are you guys following? If you have any questions, you could just put it on the chat window, or you can unmute yourself and we can discuss.
Yeah, hi. Got this side. I'm very little late. Hello.
I'm sorry, your voice is
So,
breaking because
so because this side, like, may I know at what time it started? Because I
it just
joined like
started
5 minutes back
10
only.
minutes back. Yeah, the class started 10
Sorry?
minutes back. 10 minutes back.
Okay, 10 minutes back. Okay.
Okay. Any questions on what we are discussing?
So, may I know what is the back end of this logic and the AI app you have created, like chatbot?
Yeah, it uses Python as a backend. So this is a chatbot. I'm just showing you an example. So we can do it. You can go to wiseflow.com and you can also create a similar chatbot in another 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. And you do not require any coding experience also. But these these chatbots, right? This will only have some kind of capabilities. But when you want to customize these and create your own chatbots, which has a lot of capabilities, having AI capabilities and also the generative AI capabilities, that's when we need to get a little deeper to understand the length, breadth, and depth of the subject, right? So it uses Python. Yeah.
Correct, correct. Because at the same time it should confirm like how many slots are available for that particular period of time. So there should be sync of the data that like particular lab or hospital will provide to that API or the AI, something like that.
Correct. So exactly what you're talking is called as agentic AI. So it is now the advanced topic. Imagine you were creating a chatbot, but the chatbot is now invoking some APIs in the backend. Okay. So it calls a backend database, or it calls a function which can return the actual time slots, or it can call any, as I was saying, email function, which can draft an email of confirmation or rejection or something like that, right? So depending upon these workflows, so what currently businesses are doing is they're trying to identify these workflows within their business lines and trying to see like how we can automate these workflows using the use of AI. So that's a lot of work happening right now. All right. Any other questions, guys? I hope you were. If you don't have any questions, let us get into some more
I have. So I thought some one other started. So I have a question that is, out of the box. It's not related to the content, particular content we talk about the chatbot.
Hmm.
See, like I have uh, like 8 to 9 years of experience and worked on more on database, like data engineer profile.
Mhm.
So now I'm looking to move to the Gen AI. So I'm not getting clear in mind like from where I should start, what topics I should clear like cover for that.
Hmm.
Is it the question
Oh.
is answerable now or like you will later in that space?
Maybe I'll spend 30 minutes on one topic, and then after the end of the topic, you will certainly get the clarity of this question. Is that okay?
Thank you.
All right. So let us get into some more interesting stuff. I'll talk about uh, one scenario where, so now you should be able to see a blue screen. Okay. So we will talk about the AI life cycle. So in this AI life cycle, we'll try to understand what are the different pieces it is going to touch, and the newer things like generative AI, agentic AI, where are those coming up, and what are the other connected pieces? And then we will understand about how people can navigate from one area to another area, right? So that is the crux of this. So I'll spend like another half an hour for the discussion. So in this example, I give an example of a bank. So imagine you have a bank, and now we are like, we have taken a time machine and went 20 years back. So this is an ABC bank 20 years back, 20 or 25 years back. So in early 2000, early 2005, that is the time frame. And if you take this bank, right, the regular operations of this bank are like people go to the bank, do withdrawal of the money, deposit of the money, open a bank account, and so on. So that is the regular transactions of the bank. And those regular transactions used to go and sit into something called as ODS. ODS is nothing but operational data store. Operational data store is our regular RDBMS tables, which basically stores your transactional data. So who are the ones who are doing these transactions? They are the regular tellers, or you can say cashiers and clerks and so on. They are the one who are doing the regular transaction. And those transactions go sit into this ODS tables, or you can also call them as RDBMS. Your relational database management systems are typically storing all these transactions, the withdrawals, deposits, opening of bank accounts, opening of fixed deposits, applying for loans and all that stuff goes and sit into this particular database. And if somebody wanted to understand that, how is this bank performing, right? So how is this bank performing? Then they have employed some analyst who run SQL queries. So what is the SQL queries? The SQL queries are typically running on the ODSs or RDBMS tables to figure out like how many average transactions are happening within the bank, how many average withdrawals, how many average deposits, how many people applied for loan, how many got approved, how many got rejected. So all these things, right? To understand that analytical queries, people run these SQL queries. So these SQL queries actually run on these ODS tables and and create these reports for the senior management. Now, as you see, the tellers are also doing transactions. People are also doing transactions. At the same time, the SQL query is also running on the same tables. Now, because of this, what happens is it creates some kind of a bottleneck on these tables. So it creates some like bottleneck on the tables and the regular transactions slow down. So when this problem arose, people thought that, okay, my bank is running from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Let us not run the SQL queries during the business hours, which is 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, but let us run the SQL queries in the night. So that's where the nightly jobs came into picture. Now, nightly jobs are the actual jobs which basically use the uh, nightly jobs are these ones which are basically helps to run these jobs in off business periods. And during these off business periods, you can run these jobs for a longer duration, and it will not impact your actual business transactions because they are running at a different point of time. They will not impact your actual business transactions. Now, during 2000, 2005, they are very, very popular options. People actually ran a lot many of these jobs, and people used to work in the late night. So you would also have these late night jobs, and they run during those times. But what happened is two important things happened. First one is adoption of internet, and the second one is geographical expansion. So because of the internet and the geographical expansion, what happened is these nightly jobs did not get time because internet was there. People were adopting to the internet. 24/7 transactions are happening. When these transactions are happening 24/7, then there was no such lean period where I can run this job. So people were getting logging on website. People are getting logged on their mobile phones. So they're doing internet-based banking. So it was not like people are only going to bank from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, but they're also able to do the transactions in the night, in the morning, and so on at any point of time. So, and also the geographical expansion in sense, people which opened, the companies which are opened in one geography, they also opened in other geographies. So for example, company in US also opened in Dubai. They have also opened their offices in Australia. They also have offices in UK and so on. So when US is sleeping, Dubai and India and Singapore are awake, right? Vice versa, there was no such lean period. We can call it as lean period where I can say that, okay, this is the time I can run my jobs so that it will not impact my ODS, operational data stores or operational transactions. So that was a big problem. That's when people started creating something called as warehouses. The warehouses, very popular option, they called as DWH, data warehousing systems. And these data warehousing systems, what they did is they kind of decoupled the operational data stores from the warehousing data stores. So they use a process called as ETL, extract, transform, and load. That means that extract the data from your operational data stores, transform your data, and then push the data into warehousing stores. So this is called as ETL processing, the extract, transform, and the load processing, where the data gets extracted from your ODS tables and then transformed and then pushed into your data warehousing tables. Now, the data warehousing has two great advantages. The first one is very visible, that it is completely decoupling the operational stores from warehousing stores, so that the transactions which used to run on ODSs, now these jobs can run on the warehouses. So when they are running on warehouses, we do not have the problem of, the transactions getting locked and all that things is not happening right now. One other great advantage is that the warehouses are very popular for storing historical data. So when you're storing historical data, you can also do historical analysis. I want to figure out like how the bank performance is this year when compared to last 4 or 5 years. I want to do that kind of comparative analysis. In such kind of comparative analysis cases, you could use data warehouses, and they were the best choice. So things were going on good around 2010, 12, 14, that time frame. A big wave came into place, which is called as big data. In the big data, people thought that instead of just having the structured data, can we also store unstructured data, right? Data in terms of videos, data in terms of images, text, JSON files, log files, IoT sensor records and all that stuff. Now for that, the data warehousings were not the right suit, because data warehousing predominantly were storing structured information. But if you want to store unstructured information, you have to create something called as data lakes. The early data lakes were put on something called as Hadoop. Hadoop are like one of the early data lakes, which are the big data systems, and they are used for large volume data processing. So Hadoop are the ones which were used. Later, thanks to cloud computing, we have AWS, Azure, GCP, and so on. Like a different kind of cloud computing systems came into picture, which were able to store this large volume data, both structured as well as unstructured data. Now, as you see, this has become a kind of a data lake scenario. And then people were able to store data in large volumes and large processing. People can store videos, they can store music files or audio files, they can store text data, they can store logs data, they can store some sensor information, logs, sensor. So different types of data is possible to be stored, and all this data we will store from different sources. The data is coming from mainframe systems, flat files, log files. It is coming from streaming systems like Kafka, and different other systems are there which are pushing data into these data lakes. The role of somebody who is in this juncture is this is called as data engineering. So data engineering is the piece where the data engineer is responsible for doing either bits of it or predominantly most of it, depending upon the type of company we work. If it is a large company, then you will be just confined to doing data ingestion, right? You try to write some scripts, try to connect some kind of data sources, and then push the data, pull the data. So your work will be complying to that kind of region. Imagine you are in a very small company, then you would be responsible for doing all those things. For example, creating compute jobs, doing data transformations, doing ingestions, then transforming the data from raw files to something like a feature files, and so on. All those things will be the responsibility of the data engineer. Okay, so this area is, as I said, it is called as data engineering. Now, once the data is available in the central data lake, this is in the form of textual data, video data, image data, and also the structured data. The first set of techniques which are done are trying to find out the visualization, which is called as exploratory data analysis. Exploratory data analysis. In AI, this is very, very essential because we need to understand what the data is trying to talk, right? What is the data trying to give us clues? So all those information is important. And for that, we do exploratory data analysis. And then we can use tools like Tableau, Power BI, or we can write our own Python programs, which can create a lot of these reports. or these kind of graphs, charts, and so on and so forth. Now, with exploratory data analysis, we can get a lot of insights from the data. We can create reports, charts, and so on. And then early adopters used the exploratory data analysis or visualization, we call visualization, for creating these kind of reports and dashboards. Another interesting area, which is very close to the data engineering, is called as feature engineering. In feature engineering, what we do is we try to create something called as features which are reusable components. Now, this feature is basically a reusable component. It is like a condensed version of your raw data. Probably you're combining multiple tables or trying to get some insights from different tables and then condensing that information into a reusable component called as a feature. And that is called as feature engineering. It is very close to data engineering because data engineers tend to do feature engineering also. Feature engineering is like, okay, I have 4 or 5 tables. Now I take data from these 4 or 5 tables, and then I discard all these 20, 30 different columns, and I only extract these 5 columns, and these 5 columns I will create as features. Those features will be used for our AI analysis. Okay, and the features can be in the form of structured data as well as unstructured data as well. So we can create features both in structured and unstructured format, which will help us to do our AI analysis. Once we have completed the exploration and once we have completed the feature engineering, we will do something called as modeling. Now, modeling is not our regular modeling. This is our machine learning modeling. And this is a central piece of the equation where we have supervised machine learning. We have unsupervised machine learning. And then we also have generative AI. Right, so this becomes a central piece. This is where we are talking about a lot of algorithms. You might be hearing about large language models. Like large language models are nothing but models which are trained on large volume data. Predominantly, they are trained by these big companies, Meta, Facebook, Google, OpenAI, Microsoft. So these are the big companies with big pockets. They are able to first get large volume data, at the same time have enough compute to basically train these models so that those models will be available and then those are extracted and they can do a lot of things. The first example which I took, where we have created a quick chatbot that was using a large language model called as OpenAI GPT 3.5 Turbo. Okay, that's a GPT-3 model. 3.5 model is a little earlier version of GPT. Currently, we are using GPT 4.0 and 4.1. That is the current model. If you open up ChatGPT, it basically currently uses GPT 4.1. So that is the latest model which it is using. So all these models are they are called as large language models, and they are useful for doing large volume data processing, and that condensed information is available for us so that we can invoke that APIs and we can use that for doing natural language generation, summarization, text creations, and so on. Now, apart from the generative models, we also have classical machine learning, the supervised models, unsupervised models, all those things are available a part of classical machine learning. And once these models are ready, so in the modeling section, what we do is we try to create models. And once these models are ready, what we do is we need to do something called as deployment. Now, deployment is nothing but, now after the model is ready, how do you productionize this model? The process of doing it is called as deployment. And during deployment, we have two models, two methods. The first one is called as a batch. And the second one is called as online or REST. Predominantly, if you ask me, 90% of the 90% of the jobs which are in the modeling, machine learning, data science, AI world, they are into the batch-based processing. Okay, predominantly they will be in the batch process. That means that there is a new file getting created. It is part of the batch process. So every day, say 9 o'clock, the batch job runs. It takes the file and then it does the prediction, and that prediction will be sent back to another downstream system and so on, right? So that is called as a batch-based processing. These batch-based processing typically run in some kind of a cloud provider. Imagine it is a AWS cloud provider. So you will schedule the batch job and it will run. So you might have a model which is running your batch processing. It is scheduled. We will use tools like Jenkins and other kind of tools. Jenkins, we can use Airflow or any other kind of scheduler, which basically schedules this job and that runs on this batch process. The second one is called as an online mode. Online mode is basically you would create something like an API, and this API is invoked by a website or a mobile app or things like that. So imagine there is a website, abcbank.com. You are required to fill some information like what is your bank balance, what is your salary, age, and marital status, right? All that information, and then finally you click a submit button. Now, once you click a submit button, what happens? The submit button invokes the API, and then API internally invokes the online model, which will do the prediction. And this all happens in a real-time mode. Now, apart from this, the entire AI space also required some other components. For example, they require components called as monitoring. So monitoring has two other important things like explainability and then fairness. So explainability and fairness, these are the components which talk about if my model is doing some kind of prediction, if my model is summarizing a document, if my model is giving some kind of a chat-based invocation or chat-based completion. On what basis did the model provide that information, right? So explainability talks about like on what basis, on what truth level is this model giving back that information. So that is very, very important. And fairness talks about the models do not have any bias with respect to gender, caste, creed. If I say, give me the pictures of CEOs, it should not give me only the male pictures. It should also give pictures of female CEOs. If I ask about, give me the picture of, say, construction worker, it should not give me only pictures of certain kind of demographic related information, right? So it should generalize it and then it should give it. So all that information is important for the fairness component, right? So we have a lot of techniques in which we try to gauge the performance of the model. For example, I'm using generative AI. I will need to find out whether the model is hallucinating. Whatever information the model is providing, it has a proper groundedness. It does not have any toxicity or any other kind of unwanted information in part of the model. So all those things have to be verified before the model is deployed into production. And last but not the least, we have two other components which are called as AI governance. AI governance, and then AI quality. So AI governance talks about a lot of governance standards which are used within a lot of AI companies. Now we are talking about something called as we are talking about fairness and responsible AI, right? So responsible AI is a very important concept which basically comes under the AI governance, where we are trying to create these applications which will be governed with respect to what data is being accessed, whether it is a PII data or non-PII data. What are the security protocols which are being used within the AI applications and so on. All those things come under the governance aspect. And the quality aspect talks about how are the applications developed, right? What is the, what are the different frameworks, the AI quality frameworks, like the testing frameworks which are used in testing the AI applications. If somebody from a testing background, so this is a very nice path for them to enter into this area, and then eventually they can get into more deeper concepts about AI, right? So all these concepts are very important, and many times unfortunately what happens is only the central piece, as you see, the modeling is the only piece which will be touched by many people. They only talk about few of these models, saying, okay, we will discuss about decision tree algorithms, we will discuss about random forest algorithms, we will discuss about generative AI. But as you see, it is one single piece of it's one single Lego block of a bigger equation, right? We need to cover not many topics, and that is what we are going to cover in this course. So I think there was a question in the starting saying that the person is from a data background, he is having some background of ETL or background of data engineering. So the entry point is this: data engineerings are the entry point is in this side. So you will have a very good experience here, but the entry point from data engineering, the next entry point will be into the modeling section. They might also do the feature engineering. This is also a very good place to enter from a data engineering side. And then eventually after this, they can get into the modeling side, where they can create applications using a large volume data. There are two phases. Again, there is classical machine learning and also generative AI. So depending upon the interest, they can get into either of them. Generative AI is much hyped right now, but I would say we need to give it a 1 year or so to figure out whether it is a real hype or is it going to really generate value out of it. But if you ask me, classical machine learning is already generating a lot of value, is generating a lot of revenue using the classical machine learning models. All right. Any questions on what we have discussed? As I said, we will spend 30 minutes. I exactly spend 30 minutes, and we understood the entire life cycle. So there's a question: as a Java developer, what is the right step to get in, right? So the first thing is that it is very important for us to have a strong basics. So as a Java developer, you will be able to get into the central modeling piece. So the job roles which come under as a Java developer is junior data scientist. Okay, let me go to the next screen. So you can get into something called as junior data scientist, senior data scientist, and then AI engineer. These are the roles, and Gen AI engineer. So these are the roles. Typically, of course, it will be suited for somebody who's getting from a data background also, but somebody who is already having a programming background, especially the Java programming background. These are the roles which they can directly target, because these are the core roles, the roles which will require a lot of programming, right? So these are the roles they can easily target and get into.
Hi, one quick question here. Right. Yeah, though we know the Java programming, right? Ultimately, these programs will be written in Python or some other machine language, right? So you're saying that the programming knowledge will be useful for these roles, right? That's it?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So writing programs, writing applications using, suppose I am a Java developer, I will be very comfortable creating applications, right?
Yeah.
So that software engineering knowledge will help a lot somebody to get into a junior data scientist role, a senior data scientist role, AI engineer role, Gen AI engineer role, and so on. Very, very close, right? If I go back to my previous slide, so this central piece, right, where I'm talking about modeling, that is the area they can target.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, it's me, Naresh, the one who asked about this Java developer question. So the thing, as you know, to be frank, I have a Java background experience, like a full stack development, creating some applications, app applications, or scripting knowledge. But considering this, we all are talking about data modeling concepts right here. Let's say even though we are the developers, we might be having little bit of experience on RDBMS databases as well, like kind of a databases knowledge, basic in knowledge.
Yeah.
So coming to the Java developer, I would like to see what my position get into this picture. As you said, data scientist or AI engineer, Gen AI. So with these roles, can I get chance developing any applications programmatically, or how does it work? I just want to know the end-to-end picture, so that I would like to know the courses as well. What kind of courses are being developed? Because most of the applications, these AI related applications, are being developed by the Python program. Now, how does Java work here? Can we implement the same concepts with the Java as well, or should we switch
No,
ourselves
no,
to
you
Python?
have to pivot into Python. It's not like you have to come, you continue doing Java and developing. Of course, there are some applications which can use Java and JavaScript, that kind of things. But you have to pivot into uh, Python. You got it? I'm not saying you
So,
will continue using Java. You have to pivot into Python and use Python for developing applications, the
understood.
AI applications.
Understood. So my second question is, let's getting into that position, Python. So do I need to start off with the data engineering and then followed by the data scientist or whatever? So AI engineer, or can I straight away getting into data scientist courses? Let's say, for example,
Our course
data.
is designed. Yeah, yeah. So you still have a question?
I'm sorry. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So our course is designed in such a way that we will start with Python, right? Somebody who is from a Java background, somebody who is from a data background, QA background, initial just got an entry. For all of us, we need to have Python as a background. So we will start our course. We'll spend good 2 weeks understanding about the basics of Python. We will understand about different libraries which are used in Python. So all those things we'll be covering in the first few weeks. So which will set as a base standard. So once we understand about libraries, how to write programs and so on, then we will get into deeper concepts. We will get into classical machine learning. We will understand about different classical machine learning algorithms. Then we will get into something called as deep learning. We will get into natural language processing, then generative AI and agentic AI. Right? So this is how the progression will be.
So how long is each course?
This course is a 2-month course. We will spend close to 50 to 60 hours for doing this course. And it will,
It's a
we will
2 months.
directly have practical knowledge only. So I try to create the course in such a way that, we just jump into and do things rather than spending a lot of time understanding, Ashoka has planted seeds and then that growed into trees and they have given fruits. So we are not going to do anything on that kind of sense, right? So we'll directly jump into the subject. We'll directly understand what are the important things, and then as the course goes on, right, then it basically converts. As the course progresses, we will try to do it in a much more extempore mode, So as you are asking questions, I will talk about in this Blackboard kind of a session. So we'll not have presentations. Maybe I will spend 2 or 3 presentations. That's it. In this 2 months, we'll only have 2 to 3 presentations. That's it. But entire course will be in this kind of a Blackboard mode. Okay. Yeah. Any question? Suresh, you can ask.
Yeah, see, since I joined a little late, I want to know your background very quickly, please. Means where you learned this? Means what was your, yeah.
Okay. So let me give I'll share my profile. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll talk a little bit about myself also. Ideally, I should do it, but I already work actually. So I don't put it in the recording. That's the reason. Okay. So this is my profile. Please go to my LinkedIn profile to understand what me. I have close to 20 years of experience, and um, I am currently working with a large banking corporation as a senior. I lead a huge machine learning engineering team. So as a part of my day's job, I do that as a day's job. But I have a great interest in teaching. So that's the reason I associate with a lot many people. I do teaching. I go give courses. I go to conferences and give talks and do a lot of things. So that's my hobby. And apart from that, I also do my doctorate. I'm currently pursuing my doctorate in business administration and specializing in AI, and specifically in AI ethics, fairness, and explainability. So that's my core research area. And that is also a reason for me to get more closer to the technology, so that, it's basically helps me. It's like a personal reason. All right. So
Yeah. Thank you.
that's brief about me. I have a master's from BITS Pilani, and I'm currently pursuing doctors. I also did a PG program from Triple IT Hyderabad, and I stay in Hyderabad.
Yeah, I think if we, what time can be the courses and what is the timing you're looking for? Because you need to cater with PST and EST also, right?
Yes. So we have to figure out. Actually, my mornings are busy. So this time, which is my evening time, so depending upon your comfort, I think I was told that 9 o'clock my time is available. But you guys let me know. I will prefer 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. I don't know what time is of PST, CST, EST. I don't know what is the time zone.
Understood.
Yeah.
So this will be a daily class? Means course will be daily?
Yeah. Course will be daily, yes. Or daily in sense on weekdays.
On weekdays, okay. Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday. Yeah.
8:30 to 9:30 my time then. Okay, if you say 8, okay. My time is 7:30 to 8:30 PST. Okay.
You are in PST.
Yeah,
Okay.
so 7:30 to 8:30 PST.
Yes, yeah. I think studies say that waking up early in the morning is always good. So
We need to wake up because we have kids go to school. No, no.
yeah. That's anyway there. Yeah. So I also run in the morning, but my morning time is very limited. So I have to see, how it can fit in.
And-
If we have a good group, right? Then basically we can do the session in the morning itself.
What happens is I'm in EST. It is exactly 10:30, which is office work time.
Okay. Yeah, 10:30 is bad. So now it will be 1 hour before. It's in sense 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So is that time suiting for you?
No, that will be 10:30 to 11:30 EST.
Okay. Ideally, I think your time, morning times will be the best times, I think, right? Anyway, so I'm doing few demos. So let us figure it out. Which time suits and things like that. And then we will we'll create a
When is
batch.
the intended start date?
Maybe next week, early next week.
And any reason we are not doing on the weekends, which probably works out for most of the people?
Weekends, you're saying weekends in the morning, right? And in
No,
the
it
sense,
doesn't matter.
morning
Anytime,
will be your
anytime.
night.
Or, no, anytime or during the weekends.
Yeah, weekends, the problem is not many people wanted to put their time on weekends. They want to keep the weekends free for personal things and all. Even I also personally would like to keep my weekends free. But let us see. I'll try to get the organizers feel. Many people say weekends, then let's figure it out. So the organizer, so I am not the organizer, so organizer will get back to you. So there's this person called as Rani, the AD Tech, the person who is organizing this, they will get back to you. I'm not sure, you might have got this link from somebody else, right? That somebody will reach out to you if you're interested. Then please come back to them and then they will coordinate. And then we can start the batch.
Sounds good, Siddharth.
Perfect. So if you have any other questions apart from this, about the course batch, what we're going to cover, how many days, or how is it going to help me, feel free to ask, and I'll spend another 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll
What's the
close.
fee structure? Siddharth?
What is it? What is the?
Fee structure?
Yeah, fee details, I think you can work with the organizers. They will work with you on the fee.
So based on the past trainings, I mean, how did people fare after completing the course?
Yeah, so that's a tough, really important question and tough question you asked. So I have given almost close to 1,000 people or so have been trained from my side. And I have seen both the extremes. And it also comes up with the commitment level. It also comes up with the amount of time you dedicate and so on. So what I generally recommend is when we are doing this 2-month course, I would recommend you spend at least the 5 hours are required during the week for the course. Apart from 5 hours, a minimum of 3 hours are additionally required. You could spend that time over the weekends or any other time for brushing up all the topics, right? So we will be doing a very good course, but unless until we come back to the topics and then do a brush up, do a hands-on yourself, it will have a tougher time. The other thing which I will encourage people or do it right from the first week is that we need to identify the target state, right? For example, I am like say 8 years experience, I am having Java background, I am having I'm living in so and so locality, so and so place, I have so and so constraints and so on. Given all these things, we need to design our future, right? So basically what we have to design is we to try to identify like what are the areas which are catering to these job roles, what are the companies are my target, what type of roles they are offering, right? As I said, like somebody from Java background, they can find out Java junior data scientist, senior data scientist, and so on. Somebody from a QA background, they have different sets of roles. Somebody from a data engineering background, they have a different kind of expected roles, which they can clearly pitch in. So we have to create our blueprint. And this is very, very serious because if you don't create that, then what happens is that whatever I am speaking, right, it will be a very nice, you will get like excited and all those things. You will get a nice feeling that there's a lot of things you're learning, generative AI, that, this and all. But unless until we get to the core of it, right, you will not get whatever the benefit. So I would seriously urge that, right from the week 1, we need to have that strong plan that what are we going to target? Is it just the experience? Is it just the understanding, knowledge, a job change, role change, new experience, new environment? All these things we have to have a solid understanding, and by end of 2 months, right, we will be in a position to attempt to that. Right? That's what I have seen. And I have seen people who are also from finance background, right? My students are from finance background, they are from non-tech background, they are lecturers also in some colleges, and then ended into jobs which are like completely different, great packages and so on, right? So in US, there are many people who are my past batchmates who are in very senior positions, leading very good teams like head of data science and such kind of roles as well. So the spectrum is there. This wide spectrum is there. It purely depends upon individuals, zeal and individuals' effort. Right? So I will put my 100% effort. It's the effort which comes from the students. I hope that answers. And one more thing, I'm a licensed purpose coach as well. So in middle, I will be adding this little bit of tidbits and little bit of flavor of personal coaching. Okay, so so that we are all on same track, right? All right. Any other questions, guys?
No, thank you very much. Nothing from my side. Yeah. Thanks, Sitaraman.
Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please ask me, or else we can close the session. We'll do a few more similar kind of demos, and then we will get into the actual course.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.